Chinnu Papu was found dead at her rented house near Kasargod earlier this week. Her real name was Rashma, and police suspect death by suicide. The probe is still underway. Neighbors noticed something unusual around noon and rushed her to the hospital, where she was declared brought dead. A case of unnatural death has been registered and a post-mortem has been ordered. Reshma had built a strong following online with over 2 lakh Instagram followers through short, relatable videos rooted in rural life. Her content focused on village routines, food, and everyday moments that struck a chord with many. Friends say she had gone through a divorce just a month ago and was deeply focused on her work in recent weeks. Her last social media post, shared just days earlier, showed no visible signs of distress, adding to the shock and unanswered questions surrounding her death. Earlier this month, the suicide of a 16-year-old schoolgirl near Kochi shocked educators and parents alike. The girl was found dead in a water-filled granite quarry near her home after leaving for school. Investigators say the case has grown more complex following the recovery of a suicide note, which points to emotional distress linked to an online connection, an alleged friendship with a Korean individual she met on Instagram. Police suspect the account may have been faked. Digital evidence is yet to be fully examined, and cyber and forensic teams are now involved. There are also fears that teenagers may be vulnerable to emotional manipulation through online identities, particularly in so-called foreign romance traps. 2 young lives lost, 2 very different stories, and many unanswered questions. What is pushing the young, both visible influences and ordinary students, to the brink? Are we failing to notice warning signs closer to home? I'm being joined by Dr. Ravi Prakash, who's a psychiatrist, and Shalin Maria Lawrence, who's an author and social activist. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us. It's a very, very sensitive topic, and I must warn many of our viewers that this is a triggering topic as well. If any of our viewers are battling thoughts that they shouldn't be battling alone, are having suicidal tendencies, reach out to your friends, family, or even experts, doctors, and do seek help, because this does need help and intervention. Dr. Ravi Prakash, let's just ask the very basic, simple question. From what seems to be a case where people are influential, they're really influential. They have followers, quote unquote followers. In this particular case, Reshma had around 2 lakh plus followers. Videos that have them smiling, extremely happy. Students who live very ordinary lives. You have a business tycoon recently who died by suicide in very, suspicious circumstances. That was another case altogether. But here are people who seem to live very ordinary lives, and they just take a very extreme step one fine day. What worries you? Is this very different from what's been happening in the past?
Yeah, thank you for this question. Actually, globally speaking, statistics says all the possible data that we have, all of them they point out that being young and being influential both independent risk factors for suicidal acts and suicidal ideations. There are several studies behind this. Earlier it was globally, now we are recognizing more in India also. The problem with young age, I will first talk about the young age actually. The problem in this young age group is that there are 2 factors: improper stress tolerance or improper frustration tolerance, and impulsivity. These two are independently associated with extreme thoughts, catastrophic thoughts, and then eventually leading to these kind of outcomes. So as far as influential, the outwardly persona that you have, the outwardly show that you put in front of the world, that is not directly correlated with how you feel inside. It may have some influence, but what you feel inside is, or it can be very different from what you project outside. The reason is that our worlds inside are made up of very, very subjective experiences, not by what other person says. Suppose, for example, someone says that, okay, you look very beautiful, or you have done an amazing job there in that video, making all the videos and projecting it online. You have done an excellent job. This is supposed to be a compliment, sorry. And these kind of compliments can be received externally, but how much will the person experience the compliment inside, inwardly? That is a very subjective experience. Over the course of time, the nature of the experiences, they start changing. You don't feel so much excited, you don't feel so much of happy, you don't feel so much of positive emotions when receiving these kind of compliments. So being influential and being popular, these are very different things as compared to what you experience inside. I would say that no matter who is it, you know, irrespective of the age, irrespective of the persona that the person is having, people will have frustrations in their life. Frustration is universal. No one can escape that. If one kind of frustration is not there, some other kind of it will come.
Okay.
Work related, social sciences, social life related, family related, something will come. So we are bound to face frustration. Frustration tolerance has to be learned, and impulsivity has to be identified. What kind of impulsive behaviors a person is showing. These two
Right.
variables will help to identify.
Shalin Maria, you've had a recent instance in Kerala yet again. You've had it in Bangalore, you've had it in Delhi. Even, this is not just a South Indian effect, it's across the world for that matter, increasing instances in India about how young people are taking their lives, are getting into depression, and several other extreme steps over what seems to be a cutoff from a very deep personal social media connect. It's not about friends losing real-time contact. It's about people going to extreme resorts, taking extreme measures for an online connect that has been lost. This has multiple layers to this. Would you want to break this down for us?
Yeah, because this influencers as such, what happens exactly is they become mini celebrities in their neighborhood, in their state, because of the reach they get. And then there is something which comes along with it is immense level of pressure. See, if you can see her videos, her reels, she's perfectly dressed. Her makeup is perfect. Her hair is perfect. Everything, her body language has to be perfect. There's amount of pressure because they also started earning through the reels, right? Because as influencers, they have brands which they, kind of recommend, and end of the day, they have to promote, and they have to, and their whole lifestyle is up there in the open for everyone to see what they do, their life, their marriage, their child, everything. And then it happens like 24 hour surveillance, they are in the public eyes. And then there's also scrutiny which is happening by the public constantly. So these women don't just get the appreciation post, but these women are also hunted down by a lot of men who knock at their DM constantly, asking for their numbers, asking to connect with them, asking for favors, physical favors. There's a lot of things which happens. These women mostly don't come out with these kind of things. They just like, bury it within themselves. If you can see what happens because of the constant, promotion of their life itself, is because there's no personal space, right? And then you can see she also had a divorce because there was no, we don't know the reason, but it came into public scrutiny. Everybody was looking at that, and sadly she also had a 4-year-old child, and maybe she was the sole breadwinner, and there was so much of stress over her that she was not able to tell outside, especially the parents or anybody, and she decided to end her life. As you said, most of the people, doctor knows, most of the people under stress and depression who look very happy, might be going through a very rough patch in their life. But another thing is mental health is not sorted out. I constantly write on feminism and mental health because I want women to go to doctors, screen themselves of depression and stress, because our lifestyle is such, especially in in country like India and in South India. Women like us, we go through a lot of stress and we want therapy. We hit therapy. A lot of women are shamed of the stigma of mental health, right? They use the word mental. So and the whole society, when the
Okay.
girl says, I want to go for it, they want to see a doctor, they'll mock at her. That is the thing. Another problem with that 16-year school girl is that there's a disconnect between children and the parents. There's so much of India, oh, we love our children, but do you have conversations with your children? Are they able to trust you and say, mama, I had a crush on this Korean boy, he cheated me, he broke my heart, I want to lie down on your lap and cry for half an hour? She can't say. A lot of young kids cannot say this to their parents, and that is the only reason a lot of young kids die early. We've seen children jumping down from school and dying,
All right.
right at the dark of
I think we need to just not disclose means and ways of how to take one's life. That's a little sensitive zone. Let's not get into that. But back to Dr. Ravi Prakash at this point. Dr. Ravi Prakash, is this also about breakdown of physical life and real life? There's no barrier. It's hard to keep those barriers because often the emotions from what is felt in real is not backed out from real. The challenges one feels in real is not backed up with real. It's two dichotomies, two lives, and the coping skills required for this is at a very high extreme. That's where things go amiss most of the times.
Yeah, I would say so actually. And this has also been pointed out by my co-panelist, madam, that this is, you know, to understand this, see, whenever a person goes into a job, 9 to 5 job or something, there are other people who can guide them. That say, these are the frustrations you will experience, these are the problems you will face, there will be peer pressure, there will be abuse of power, these things they will know. But this influencer thing, it is kind of very recent. And I would say that a lot of the problems that those influences they face, many of them they are not able to express also. Like as Madam was saying, the online harassment, for example, that itself is such a different and unique kind of a problem that influencers face. Usually now we have posh at the office places, and now that kind of harassment cannot happen. But for an influencer, it is not so applicable, or even the laws. You know how in India they turn a blind eye very easily on the cyber crimes. So that is why they are exposed to cyber harassment. They are exposed to the difference that you are saying, what we call as the dissonance between the real world and the real world. And it is all sorts of pressures actually. See, when you are earning your bread and butter from something, you cannot leave it like that also. And no matter who you are, you will have your own, as you know about the Maslow's hierarchy, there are different kinds of needs. So you will have your own needs, in which security needs and basic physical needs are the most fundamental ones. You cannot run away from that. So, irrespective of how much stress and how much problems the person is facing, he's going on making the reels and going on facing the troubles and going on experiencing the adversities. And what we see is a glamorized version of the person. But from the inside of the reel, on the other side of the reel, what the person is experiencing, only he or she will know. So it will have its own set of frustrations. The thing is that I have told this n number of times that every work that you do, every lifestyle that you will have, it will have its own set of frustrations. If we do not know, it is time for us to be educated. You
Right.
educate us, you let us know what you are undergoing. For that, we mental health professionals are there. We will try
Absolutely.
to make some sense out of it. We'll try to give you some solution out of it. But do not catastrophize this in your mind. Life is not any one aspect of you, right? Life is not making reels. Life is not your social world aspect, your personal aspect. Life is much, much beyond that. Everything that you are doing and that you are is just a small fraction of life. You cannot, put everything at stake for one or two kinds of
All
frustrations,
right.
although it may be very severe, as I told earlier. It may be very, very problem- problematic for you.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Ravi Prakash, and thank you very much, Shalin Maria, for joining us on a very, very sensitive issue.